attack and using expired tear gas have been witnessed and reported. These violent acts have led to widespread condemnations. On July 17, the Europe Parliament adopted a resolution on the situation in Hong Kong, calling for appropriate export control mechanisms and technologies that could be used to undermine human rights. Mostly alarmingly is apparent cooperation from the Hong Kong police. Hundreds of criminal gang members terrorized commuters and protesters in a subway station in the evening of July 21st, 2019, by assaulting them indiscriminately, leaving 45 people hospitalized. Later that evening, only 2 men were arrested for unlawful assembly, a stark contrast to the hundreds charged with rioting during largely peaceful protests. More recently, the Hong Kong police has fired to suppress protesters by withholding letters of no objection for violence, declaring any such protests illegal public gatherings. By denying the right to protest and the freedom of assembly, the Hong Kong government is attacking some of the key fundamental freedoms of Hong Kongers. This, along with the continuous storing of the electoral reform and the outright refusal of genuine universal suffrage for the people of Hong Kong, is just one of the many instances that both the Chinese and the Hong Kong government have repeatedly breached the Sino-Bridge Joint Declaration. Our response to the ongoing chaos in Hong Kong will be as follows. First, we demand that both the Hong Kong and Chinese governments immediately address the human rights violations and illegal actions by both the government and the police in Hong Kong. All the police brutality and reckless negligence must stop. Second, all the illegal detained political prisoners must be released. That is, all the protesters who were falsely imprisoned or prosecuted, from Edward Leung, Dr. Benny Tai in Hong Kong to Mr. Kovac and Sparrow in Beijing. Third, we demand that immediately a third-party independent inquiry committee be formed. Based on the ongoing news and media footage we obtained, we demand that anyone involved in violating the laws, not just limited to government officials and the police of all ranks, be subject to justice. As the safety of the approximately 300,000 Canadian citizens residing in Hong Kong is at great risk due to the escalating confrontation between the protesters and the government. We urge the Canadian government to do the following to safeguard their security. First, impose adequate export control to deny the Hong Kong government's access to technologies that could be used for violating human rights, including lethal weapons, riot gear, and crowd control equipment such as water cannon trucks. These instruments are used for restricting the protester freedom of speech, right of assembly, and the right to protest. Second, include a human rights and freedom clause in all treaties with Hong Kong and China, especially in the area of free trade and neutral taxation. Sanctions towards China and Hong Kong must be applied in case of violations. Third, ban and or sanction the key officials of Hong Kong government and Hong Kong police who are responsible for human rights violation and corruption, as per the Justice for the Victims of Corrupt Foreign Officials Act. We will closely monitor the situation and fully support Hong Kong protesters' fight for democracy, as well as standing with the youth of Hong Kong, whose aspirations are summed up by the slogan, Liberate Hong Kong. It is the revolution of our time. Liberate Hong Kong. It is the revolution of our time. Thank you.